Are we good?
Good one.
Hello and welcome to Take Flight Live with Phoenix Stage Company, an award-winning 100% volunteer community theater organization located in Oakville, Connecticut. I'm Ed Bassett, Executive Director of Phoenix Stage Company, and your host, here with Tim Phillips. Say hello, Tim.
Hello!
Also in the room, Michael, right back there, our technical producer, and way up there on the light board, Al Hathaway.
Hi, everybody.
Yay!
You might have noticed we're dressed up tonight.
Dressed up.
You know why? Valentine's Day.
We're coming up on Valentine's Day, which is a non-existent holiday for us single people. But for you married people, it's important, I guess. But we, I did a nice background for us today, and we're going to talk about romance on stage.
Yeah. And this is real.
Well, it's non-alcoholic pink stuff in a glass.
We found an old bottle down there.
we found this bottle in the green room. It's probably about 3 or 4 years old. We gave some to Michael, but he doesn't like sticky liquids near his laptop. So he moved his glass off to the side because I didn't want Tim and I to be sitting here on a little table with a heart background with matching glasses of pink sticky stuff.
Wow, that's pink sticky stuff. Isn't that Michael's name on Tinder?
Grinder.
Whatever it is.
Hey, Tim.
Hey, what?
Who always has a date on Valentine's Day? If you say not you.
I never have a date on Valentine's. I don't know. Who, whatever.
Always has a date on Valentine's Day.
Who always has a date on Valentine's Day?
The calendar. I hear that Deb Crine is a huge fan of my jokes, and she's here today. Hello, Deb Crine from Sierra Ridge Media Arts. It's nice to have you back again.
She's as much a fan of your jokes as your own reaction to your jokes.
Okay.
She loves that you kill you.
I love my little stupid jokes. They're pretty awesome. Yeah. So how was your week?
Today was a bad day. I was really sore. I've been shoveling so much. We got another inch of snow overnight, which is not much. Yeah, and it's powder. Al, of course, is freaking out again.
Yes!
Yeah, so he should have his own.
Because Al doesn't bother shoveling his driveway. He just drives in and out.
Yes, because
he spends his time up on the mountains with boards strapped to his feet.
Yeah, for the rest of us, it's just getting a little repetitive. We had a couple of years, a few years back, where we had that constant snow, one right after the other, and it just got to the point where we couldn't get out of our driveway because you couldn't see over the snowbanks.
Yeah,
but we're not there. But I've reached that point where this is about the time of year Laura and I normally would go someplace tropical just to get away for a little bit.
No, you can't do that now.
Nope.
No.
Nope. And so it was a little, but there's the weather. We had a fun little Super Bowl. We missed you again because it snowed.
And because where I live on a corner, and so all of the sidewalks have to be done, and the sidewalks to the house. There's 2 sidewalks to the house, 2 staircases on the house, the driveway, and then we live on a double lot, so we have the sidewalk all the way on the corner,
all the way over. That's
all the way around the corner, and it's a lot. And Mumsy panics a little bit about the snow and the mailman getting to the house, and so I try to get it done as quickly as I can. Otherwise, she's out there at 4 or 5 in the morning scraping the sidewalk off so that the newspaper person can bring her newspaper. So I don't like to have her out there.
And it was a substantial snow on Sunday.
It was,
and we were a little panicky because Lori made a very big pot of chili. We went over to our friends, the Cryans, which are just up the road from us. They're in our secondary pod. And Deb made this very large vat of pulled pork. But we still got to get up there because it was only a half a mile away from us. So,
Yeah.
So we got to watch the game. Did you watch the game at all?
Of course I watched the game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't know if you're a Packer fan, so I know.
Well, I am, but I still watched the Super Bowl, and I got to say I was disappointed. It was kind of a boring game.
It was a boring
because
game.
they packed, they loaded it on right from the start. The Chiefs played like crap.
Yeah.
That
surprised a lot of people.
Defense was awful, and it wasn't the whole season, so that was really weird. And really halftime was,
Well, and we've lived long enough that we have seen pretty much all the great acts at halftime at Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Paul McCartney, Rolling Stones, Michael Jackson.
Yeah,
all
and
these guys.
I was disappointed with the commercials.
They were all right.
There were a couple.
I knew it was going to be a down year.
But,
I knew it was going to be a down year, but there were some that were okay.
Yeah.
Chucklers. There were a couple chucklers. There were none. Like last year was Bill Murray with the Jeep commercial where he did Groundhog Day.
Yeah.
They brought back Groundhog Day, and that was hilarious.
Yeah.
That was knock you off the couch funny. I think they purposely stayed away from that because there's a lot of serious stuff going on still right now, and everybody wants to go on with that. Speaking of that, big news yesterday. Lori got her vaccine.
She did. Lori got vaccinated. She got her first one.
She got her first one. She was good. She said everything worked out really good. She's a little concerned because she's heard reports about the second one. A lot of people say that's the one because I guess it's a bigger dose the second time.
I'm too young.
Me too. How often does that happen?
Not very often anymore.
Thank you, Ed.
Yeah.
I'm really thrilled that she got it. I'm really thrilled that she got it because she was a bit of a risk. So we're taking that step in the right direction. So that was pretty good.
Yeah, this past week, up in Maine, they caught a yellow lobster.
A yellow lobster.
It's called a banana lobster.
Oh.
And the chances of catching a yellow lobster are 1 in 30 million.
Isn't that better than the Powerball?
I think it is. Yeah. So very good. I mean, very good for them.
I wonder how that tastes.
Like banana.
A banana taste.
Or mango.
A mango lobster. Oof.
Maybe it tastes like sweet corn.
You were telling me about the Barbie lobster.
Yes, the Barbie lobster. It started in 2003 up in Maine.
We looked it up.
These fishermen caught this lobster that was too small to keep. So for whatever reason, they had Barbie clothes on their boat, and they dressed this lobster in Barbie clothes and glued little shoes on its feet and threw it back in the water. And now when other fishermen catch it, it's considered lucky, and they change the clothes on the Barbie lobster and throw it back. So it's still ongoing.
Can you just imagine this poor lobster? They throw it back in the water, and because it's like good luck or it's a good omen if you catch it. Apparently, what we read, there were like 10 different lobstermen have caught it, and this poor lobster go back to his other lobster friends. He's got like a new wig on and
it's like he's like a little star every time. He gets out of the water and he says, "Look at these things. Look at my feet."
We're gonna get in trouble.
There's a little drag show at the bottom of the sea. And he's down there.
All the other lobsters are sitting down there. Oh, I can't wait to see what it's going to be. A little runway as it comes down. These are the things we find out just before. Hey, I want to talk. I found this on Gene Martin actually posted this on Facebook.
Yeah,
and I sent it to you. We printed it out. Alternative cuss words.
Yeah.
My father was famous for making up his own cuss words.
Yes.
Just because, you don't want to swear in front of the kids. And I went down this list and I saw so many that I grew up with. And these are things that are mom approved. You could get away with saying them. We can get away with saying them here on the show. But things like, which one? Dad blame it. Dad blame it.
Yeah, Dad blame it. There's one. My favorite one on here is fart knocker.
I have to say I've never heard that one. I've heard Jen use my niece Jen. She uses "shut the front door."
Yeah, I hear that. Yeah. Now there's one on here. Heavens, sake.
Oh, don't get them
Now,
started.
those of you out there who've done shows with me that have had heaven's sake or God's sake in it, you know how insane I get when somebody says, oh, for God's sakes or for heaven's sakes. It's heaven's sake.
Single sake.
It's a single sake.
Yep.
Ooh.
And he'll yell at you.
I do.
He will.
Affleck.
Yeah, he goes crazy.
I go a little nuts on that one. Yeah.
I wonder what two sakes would look like.
I don't know what two sakes would look like, but
For
heaven's
crying
got
out
one of them.
loud, for the love of Pete, for Pete's sake, those are the ones I use all the time.
Yeah.
Some of these I've never heard of though, like fart knocker. Yeah.
Great googly woogly.
I remember that from the first one of the first Snickers commercials. Great googly moogly.
Yeah.
I always like that. Judas Priest. Shut your pie hole.
Yep.
Rassa frassa rassa frassa. Is that from? I want to say that's from the Christmas Story.
Summoning bench, she used to say in the Christmas Story. Summoning bench.
Summoning bench. Yeah.
Summoning bench, but I don't know the others.
But there, if you look on Facebook under Gene Martin's page, you'll find this whole list, and they're worth it just to teach your children to say things like "son of a nutcracker."
Son of a nutcracker.
I never heard that.
Speaking of
one.
son of a nutcracker,
Oh wait,
we have birthdays, don't we? This
we
week?
do.
We have some birthdays. Al, hit that
Son of a
birthday music.
motherless goat.
Little time delay there.
Yeah, that's okay. Yes, we have no birthdays today,
Right.
but coming up on Monday, our good friend Rodney K.
Rodney K.
Rodney
from
K.
Fools, Baskerville,
Trailer
and the
Park
Great American
Musical.
Trailer Park
Yep.
Christmas Musical.
His birthday is on Monday, and on Tuesday, Tracy Brown's birthday is coming
From
up.
the
She
dining
was
room
in
here,
the
Phoenix
dining room.
Stage
Yep,
Company.
And, she performs all over
And
the place.
tomorrow is Abraham Lincoln's birthday.
I forgot.
President
Sorry, Abe.
Abraham Lincoln,
I
happy
didn't get anything
birthday.
for you.
Yeah.
Which
yeah.
is not to be confused with President's Day, which is coming up
Yep.
Monday.
Right. So we can fade that music now,
But
Al.
we also have one other thing to mention.
We do, but the birthday music doesn't go with
It
it.
doesn't go
There
with
you
it.
go.
We want to wish Maynard and Roseanne Elliott a happy 42nd wedding anniversary.
Happy anniversary, Roseanne and Maynard.
They've both done shows with us.
Yeah.
They're regular volunteers.
Yeah.
And we're just they moved away, right? They moved,
I think they moved to Tennessee, to the Nashville area.
yeah, because that's where Danny lives.
Right.
Their daughter.
Yeah.
But happy anniversary to two really, really nice people. We miss you badly.
Two amazing people.
Yeah.
Tomorrow is the Lunar New Year.
Yes.
The Chinese New Year.
And it's the year of the ox.
The metal ox, you
metal
said.
ox. Yeah, I don't know what's the difference between a metal ox and a non-metal ox.
I don't know. Al said he thinks it's a bunch of bull.
I thought he'd be on. I thought
That
he'd be on
wasn't
one.
mine. That wasn't mine.
There it is. There it is.
Yeah.
So what are we going to talk about
and
today?
and one more thing, you
Yeah,
know,
yeah.
now it's Thursday.
It is.
Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday. You have 4 days left to get punchkis.
Oh no!
Because
Why?
as of
They
next
just-
Tuesday,
they-
they're not available anymore.
Oh, is that
Fat Tuesday. So until the 16th, you can get your punch keys, but you can't get
Whoa.
them. I finally did some research and found out why a punch key is so different from another donut.
Yeah.
Because a punch key is baked.
Okay.
A punch key is a baked
And
donut.
donuts are fried.
Donuts are fried. So they're fluffier and airier.
Yeah.
Like goldfish.
So-
They're baked, not fried.
Oh, I thought you were talking about
Oh.
the actual gold.
You know
Oh.
the jingle?
No.
No.
Yeah.
Sorry,
Goldfish.
Michael.
I don't know. Yeah. I guess goldfish are baked and not fried, but I don't know the jingle. But yeah, punch keys are baked. And so, but you can only get them until the 16th, Fat
Well,
Tuesday.
I will admit I've had my share of punchkis this year.
Yeah.
As you can tell, I
Yeah.
am punchkied out because Big Y makes incredible.
Oh, they make
punchkis.
the best punch keys.
And everybody has their own favorite.
Yeah.
Right. I like the ones that are like Boston cream donuts. They're like the custard filled with
the chocolate on
it.
top.
You like the apple? No,
Lemon.
one. I
Mumsy
keep
likes the
saying-
prune.
Yep.
And when our friend Elena was doing shows with us here, she worked in the bakery at Big Y. She would specially make us raspberry filled with chocolate on top.
And I think the lemon ones should have the
Should have chocolate on top,
I
too,
think
yeah.
that would be awesome.
Yeah.
But yeah, I've had plenty of punchkis. Like every time you come over, hey, I brought punchkis. Lori's like, oh God.
Well,
here we
because you
go."
can only get them certain times,
And
so you might as well.
It reminds me of Krispy Kreme donuts because they were just so good that first day.
Yeah.
And then of course you feel obligated to eat them all on that first day. And you always showed up with a 6-pack.
Always. I have 1. They have 5. Yay. Hey, Tim.
Hey, what?
What did Cupid name his pet pig?
I don't know. What did Cupid name his pet pig?
Valenswine.
It sounds like a Valentine's. Sounds like a super villain.
Yeah, Valenswine, a super villain pig.
Yes.
Yeah.
For your next a Valentine's melodrama, you can put that in.
Sure, I'll get right on that.
Yeah. How did you get a response from people regarding last week's melodrama?
Listen, you know what? I'm not on social media, so I have no idea what people thought about it.
Okay.
I have no idea what people thought about the melodrama. Nobody has really said anything. Let's ask. If you're, out there and you watch the melodrama, let Michael know what you thought. He's going to kind of give us some comments.
It was a lot of fun.
It was a lot of fun,
and it was stupid and silly, and we just Al got to be
because I wrote it.
Because he wrote it, and we're going to keep doing it.
We are going to keep doing them.
It's fun. It's something to do.
It is. We're trying to keep.
But what are we talking about tonight?
We are talking about romance on stage.
Yes, we are. Because it's Valentine's.
Because it's Valentine's, and you asked some questions.
I did. I put it out there, and
I went through and made some lists of shows that we've done that were romantic and other things. And do you remember your first romantic role on stage? Have you had one?
I would have to say it was.
You've played a priest a few times.
Yeah, and that's not too romantic. The Buffalo one.
Moon Over Buffalo?
Moon Over Buffalo. I had the hots for...
Almost Maine.
Yeah, Almost Maine is pretty much, that's all romance. That whole play is about romance. And I had some fun scenes in there. But yeah, no, I think that was... Almost Maine is probably the most romantic thing, in fact, that I've ever done.
Yeah.
And it's so funny. Donna directed that, right?
Yes, she did.
And
we rehearsed for 8 months.
Yes, we did, because we started rehearsing in Naugatuck.
Yep.
And then we moved over here. And I had the first scene with Elena, and I still remember the note that Donna gave her. She said, "Elena, when Tim gives you a kiss, could you make it look not quite so painful?" Romance. And then I had the other nice scene with Deb Goodman, in which she brought all her love back to me.
Yeah.
And then I came out with a little bag of love for her. And you had me watching a BU hockey game in that one.
Yes.
At the TV.
Yeah.
I was wearing a jersey. Yeah.
Yeah.
A lot of fun. You had some heavy duty romance in that show.
I did in Almost Maine, but that wasn't my first.
No.
So Michael is writing right now.
Yes.
But he has a picture that he's going to put up for me on the back screen. So
I can't wait to see this.
My very first romantic role
going to show up behind you.
Ever is going to show up right here
on our weather map.
There it is. So that's me.
What, the priest?
No, the little one right there. The groom is me.
Oh, that's you?
The groom is me.
Okay.
The priest is my friend Patrick. I was 4 years old. That was 1968. The young lady that is marrying me, our hands were tied together, is Mary Jane O'Donnell. And that was a production of Tom Thumb's Wedding, and that is on the stage of St. Michael's Church in Naugatuck.
Is that right? Okay.
You
were Tom Thumb?
I was Tom Thumb.
Okay.
4 years old. I look like a little Ricky Ricardo.
You did.
I looked scared to death there in that particular picture.
Where'd you who had this picture?
Those were in my baby book.
Really?
Yeah. And I have a whole collection of them, different ones, me walking down the aisle with her. Uh-huh. They paid us a nickel to put our heads together for one picture.
Oh.
Mary Jane showed up again. Her family moved away.
Yeah.
And then showed back up in 4th grade
Oh, okay.
in my class
Yeah,
and
yeah.
brought pictures like these to school to show my teacher.
Oh,
And so my 4th grade teacher, Mr. Buchanan, called me Romeo from then on for the whole rest of the year. I was tormented.
so you're like 9 years old at that point.
Yeah, 4th grade and
Oh, yeah,
not
'cause
happy.
that's-
But so that was my first romantic role ever.
And
Tom Thumb,
did
1968.
you have a stage kiss for that one? No.
Not that I remember, but
Yeah.
I would say probably not, since they had to pay us to put our heads together for a
Right,
picture.
probably not.
I can't imagine
Probably not a
that
kiss
they
there, too.
that they did. So we can go back to the other background there, Michael.
'cause
Thank
I
you.
think
But
we've
that
seen
isn't that a cute picture? That's me.
Isn't the
4 years
adorable?
old.
There we go.
4 years old. But yeah, I've had a few romantic
I
shows
mentioned
here.
I mentioned stage kisses, and we got a couple of stories
We do.
about that. You want to hear them?
Yes.
Well, I asked people for about their most memorable stage kiss, and Chrissy Flynn just said, "Hallelujah, girls!" Surprise! That was kind of a surprise kiss
It was.
in there. I can't remember the characters.
And I had gum I had to get rid of.
Oh my God! It was always in the
Porter
bag.
Paget
Porter Paget.
in the Hallelujah Girls. Got any room for a rooster in this chicken coop?
Oh God. I think I did it one performance.
You
and
did.
then you took over because
Yeah.
we had some change of cast. And
Yes.
But there is this wonderful story from our dear friend Beth Steinberg, whose birthday was last week. By the way.
Yes.
I'm just going to read it to you. Yes, I've done a number of stage kisses in my younger days. She points out. My first stage kiss was kind of gross though. I was doing a Chekhov one act called The Boor, Boor. I played a widow, Mrs. Popoff. I was visited by a man named Mr. Smirnoff, don't you love the names, asking for money. So Smirnoff kisses Popoff. The gross part is that the actor playing Smirnoff, Tom, was very tall and had long hair, which during rehearsals he would tie back in a ponytail. I, as you know, am quite short. And anyway, the night of the performance, Tom decided to leave his hair loose. And when he leaned down to kiss me, I got a mouthful of hair. How romantic.
Yeah.
She said, after the Boer incident, my stage kisses were much more pleasant.
So I had my grossest stage kiss.
Okay.
I was in a production of Torch Song Trilogy. You familiar with that?
That's Neil Simon, right?
There was a movie that Harvey Fierstein did with Matthew Broderick. Yes.
Oh yeah. Right.
And I was in a stage production of that.
Okay.
And the director was a little odd.
Okay.
It's a long play to begin with.
Yeah.
It is a
Well,
long
trilogy.
play.
Yeah.
And the director decided he was going to have musical performances between every scene. So it ended up being over 3 hours long. Woo. The actor that was playing, so if you're familiar with the story, there's the drag queen who falls in love with the young man. They decide to adopt a teenager who's troubled.
Yeah.
The drag queen's mother shows up after the lover is killed in a hate crime.
Okay.
And then my character, Ed, was the character's name,
There you go.
was a confused bisexual who had attempted suicide, and there was all this stuff in there. But at one point they go away to a cabin to see Ed's ex-wife.
Okay.
And she has a new partner in there, and the partner seduces Ed in the barn.
Okay.
And we really didn't hit it off. That actor and myself didn't really hit it off.
Yeah.
We just didn't quite do it.
That happens.
And the director just kept saying, I really want the kiss to be real. It's because we had to kiss at one point.
Yeah.
It was a little odd because it was the first time that I'd be kissing a man on stage.
Right.
And I wasn't
Yeah.
quite sure. He wanted a real kiss. I wanted it to be real, real, real. And this actor was a smoker.
Mm-hmm.
And I asked him, can you not smoke right before the scene?
Oh.
And he would intentionally go out and have a cigarette right before the scene because we
Oh.
just chemically didn't hit it off.
That's kind of.
His name was Brad.
Brad.
And
Oh.
yeah, that was the grossest thing for me. And it was a hard show because it was so long. Oh, that was it was long and painful. And it would have been a great show had it been done tighter and better. But so long,
Yeah.
so long. And
long.
so long. What other stage kisses you got?
That's it for stage kiss, but I do have some romantic scenes.
Oh, romantic. Do the romantic scenes. Who do we have?
Chrissy Flynn. Dear Chrissy.
Besides her scene with me as Porter Paget.
Which is, yes. In 2003, Chrissy and I did Little Shop of Horrors together, directed by Amber Dunphy at the Thomason Opera House. And in that show, she played Audrey. She played Audrey. And in her final scene with Seymour.
The girl, not the plant.
Right. Thank you for bringing that up. In her final performance, in her final scene on the last night, her death scene, she and Matt Dyer, who played Seymour, she said they really got into it. I am dying in his arms. And she looked up and a tear was coming down Matt's face. So she totally ad-lib. She just went up and just gently wiped the tear away. She said it was a very tender, intimate moment. He was such a skilled actor, and he brought out so much in me, and it was a very, very fine memory.
Yeah. Tony Benedetti, Almost Maine. We talked about
that. That's the scene. The scene he talks about is the one with the ironing board, which Tim Cleary did.
Which interestingly for me was probably one of the least romantic scenes in the show. For me, I wasn't in it. It was Tim Cleary and somebody else in our production.
Yeah.
But to be in that scene, it probably had a totally different meaning to it.
Casey was the other person in that one. And like we said, pretty much every scene in Almost Maine has a lot of romance in it. Jennifer Beveridge, who was in I'm forgetting everything, in Pink Panther, and she was also in
Drinking Habits
too.
Mm-hmm.
She said, I have had too many, she said. When she was in Newsies, there's a really romantic scene between Jack and Catherine where they fight, and then out of the blue, they kiss. She said that was her favorite show to do. I've also had to do You Know What on stage in another show. You Know What? Just ask Michael. He knows what.
Michael's not paying any attention to us whatsoever.
Listening.
See? Not at all.
Yeah.
He is not listening. He's not paying.
There's a good game on right now, and he's listening.
No,
There's a YouTube on how to pack for a move.
Our friend Kathy Anuli, who performed a lot on this stage
Yes, she did.
when the theater was Clockwork Repertory Theater and out at CTOG, Community Theater at Woodbury.
And I've done shows with her in Bethlehem.
And at the Opera House. She's been in a few. She says that she got to make out on a couch in just a black slip with the lovely Mitch Friedman.
I'm betting Harold directed that
looking
one.
here at Clockwork.
Yeah.
And she made a point to say Mitch would always say that she was a lucky girl. Lucky girl.
Lucia Dressel said her most romantic scene from a directing standpoint was Pride and Prejudice, the final scene. But she also said The King and Anna and Shall We Dance. And when you talk about the most romantic things you've seen in a show, I tend to think of The King and I. There's a lot of that romance between the King and Anna, especially for me. Of course, it's not really appropriate, but the movie, you just feel that. And especially when it leads to the big dance, and of course his death scene at the end is a tearjerker. King and I, Shall We Dance? That's a wonderful moment on stage.
It is.
Mm-hmm.
And Robin Colosa, she says that the most romantic scene she's ever done was Our Children in Ragtime.
Yes.
Oh, the song and then the spoken scene afterwards.
Is that where she says goodbye to her husband?
Yeah.
That she was going on without him. What a great show that was. What a great show. Always one of my favorite moments at the Thompson Opera House. Emily Flynn said the most romantic scene she's done is the scene during and after the song Metaphor in The Fantastics. It's supposed to be silly, but something about it always got to her. And she also talked about another show.
She did.
Yes.
She said that the most romantic musical that she's seen is called The Girlfriend.
Yeah.
And she says in here, Ed knows exactly what I'm talking about. So
what's that show?
So listen, The Girlfriend, I usher sometimes out at Theater Works Hartford.
Yes.
And they called me on this particular night because they needed ushers at the place. Their original theater was under construction, so it was out at where they were doing their shows. I had no idea what I was going to see. So I went, and they dress kind of casually. What they do is they give you a fleece or a vest or something to put on over it. And I dressed casually, and I got there to the theater not knowing what I was going to see. The first thing that happened was the manager, I was looking for a fleece because I didn't know where they kept stuff. And one of the volunteers said, I think they've already given them out. And the manager came out and said, oh, did they tell you to dress from the 80s?
No.
And I said, is this okay? And he said, yeah, it's fine. You look good. He doesn't need a fleece. And I was a little offended by that, but whatever. It's all good.
You always dress like it's the 80s.
Okay.
Well, we know
Thank
that.
you very much.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Okay.
Right? Yeah. So this show, The Girlfriend, it's a musical, a 2-man musical. It's 2 guys that are just coming out of high school.
Uh-huh.
And one of them is I'm going to use the term obviously gay, and I don't mean that in an offensive way.
Yeah.
That's the character
Right.
that he played. And it's the last day of school. They're done with high school.
Uh-huh.
It's his last day. He comes home and he starts telling the story of they were leaving school and he bumped into the jock from school who turned around and handed him a cassette tape and said, I made this for you.
Yeah.
A mixtape. And the kid thought, what? Why is he making this for me?
Yeah.
And when he gets home and puts it in, it's songs that this guy has written. And while he's listening to it, his phone rings and it's the jock. Because now school is over.
Yeah.
So now this jock is pursuing this other dude.
Yeah.
And it's the story of their relationship because the jock has a girlfriend out of town somewhere.
Yeah.
And it's the story of that relationship growing. And
so it was
it is an amazing musical.
It's a brand new musical.
No, it's not. It's relatively new.
Okay.
Relatively new.
Yeah.
The CD is actually sitting out of concessions because I loaned it to somebody to listen to. It is a beautiful musical.
Yeah.
And I was sitting there watching it. I was a little uptight because the audience was all really so much older people.
Yeah.
And I thought, ooh, this isn't going to go over well. How's this going to play over? How's this going to play over?
Yeah.
And there's a scene where it's really tense.
Yeah.
And it really looks like the jock is going to punch the other kid. And instead he grabs him and he kisses him. And the audience cheered.
They went crazy.
And I went, okay, that's the world we live in now. That's the world we live in. And at the end of the musical, there was no intermission. At the end of the musical, when they walked out, people were walking out wiping tears off their face.
Damn, that's good.
And I walked out wiping tears off my face because I was going home alone. I was single and it was a love story. And I hate Valentine's Day.
It's interesting. I almost wonder, how old is that musical?
I want to
look it up.
Yeah, look up when The Girlfriend was written. Tim's going to find that out
because
for us.
Glee had a plot line that nearly matches.
Yeah,
that.
it's a beautiful musical, and I love the music from it. I sing it in the car all the time. It is. If Laura, I don't know if Laura Sturgis is on, but she's probably.
I sent the message to you, Tim, from her.
So she's probably she knows. Laura, you know what I'm talking about. The Girlfriend.
Well, it took me to a 1926.
Would you be my little movie star? Could you be my long lost girl? It's such a great musical. It's a feel good musical. It's lovely. It's a beautiful, beautiful show. So yeah.
Apparently there's other Girlfriend musicals and they go back to the 20s.
Well, okay. Well, The Girlfriend.
This is probably a Girlfriend musical signature theater. 2018.
So 2018.
So relatively new.
Yeah, but
the interesting thing. Let me go find that message.
So I ushered for it, and I came back to Phoenix, and I was telling everyone here about it because it was so amazing. And Laura and Emily and Laura's husband, Carlos, went to see it, and they fell in love with it. I'm sure that Laura is on there saying how much she liked it.
Well, what Laura sent me or sent Michael to tell me is that about her proposal to Carlos. I bet you didn't know this.
I didn't know any of this.
Carlos proposed to me at the Renaissance Fair because that was where we met. He invited all our friends and family, and they surrounded the booth I was working at. He had our friends who were dressed as knights escort me out to him, and he pulled out this long scroll and started reading it. It was a bit long of a speech, but at the end, he asked me to marry him, and my response was, "As you wish," from Princess Bride. Star Trek fans will appreciate that Carlos asked my father for permission before he came to propose. And after my father said yes, he also said, "Heck of a time to ask," quoting from Star Trek 3. Yeah. I wonder if he also told her to make it so. It was a beautiful, and strangers were congratulating me for the rest of the day. It was wonderful. That is a lovely, lovely story.
That's a lovely story.
Yeah. See, who knew Carlos was such a romantic?
Who knew? Hey, Tim.
Hey, what?
What is the best recipe to serve on Valentine's morning?
On Valentine's morning. I don't know. What is the best recipe to serve on Valentine's morning?
A hug and a quiche. A hug and a quiche. Come on.
Yeah, I got it.
What did one cantaloupe write to the other on Valentine's Day?
I don't know. What did one cantaloupe write to the other on Valentine's Day?
You're one in a melon.
Oh, if only that was alcohol. He was so excited when I got here tonight. Like, I have jokes.
Oh, this
Maybe
is
we could.
yeah.
We talked about putting a movie screen back behind us.
We
like
will one
movie scene.
day.
Maybe we get to like the laugh track of just have people laughing.
So I went back a little bit into our history and I looked up a little bit for the shows that we've done at Phoenix Stage Company over the past 2 decades or decade. 2 decades. Oh my gosh.
What happened there?
Wait, what?
I missed a few.
You know,
we've been down for a while.
The Hallelujah Girls in 2010, Sugar Lee and Bobby Dwayne Dillahunt.
Oh, yes.
You know, and Carlene and Porter.
Carlene and Porter,
Yeah.
Yep.
2011,
we
had The Last 5 Years. We had Drinking Habits, which was really,
love story.
Drinking Habits 1 was about the reporter and her fiance who ended up back together again.
And also about Father Chenille and sister,
and there was a little bit of romance in It's a Wonderful Life, the live radio play.
Yeah.
And that ended up with some romance too.
Oh, did it?
Well, because that's where Kate met Jim. Kate Sandberg met our friend Jim.
Oh, that's right.
That's where they met the first time.
And now they are married.
But that didn't happen until later.
Yeah. And
so 2013, the Red Velvet Cake War.
Oh.
We had a few relationships in that one. And Arsenic and Old Lace, weird. But there was the love story in there. There was a little romance between the neighbor girl and the nephew.
Yeah.
You know, 2014, The Underpants.
Yes.
That was all about romance. 2 of us were courting the lady of the house.
3 of you were.
3 of us. And 2015, Almost Maine.
Yeah. Oh my God.
It's almost 5 years. That show I love that show.
I
love that show.
I got to tell you,
I found my wedding music in that show.
Yeah.
One day.
The first time I saw that show was Theater Works in Hartford.
Yeah.
And fell in love with it. The script is so good. Now, it's originally written for just 4 people, 2 men, 2 women. We were able to expand that a little bit, and Donna did a great job with all this cast. And
I'm really glad it was expanded.
I think so.
I like the way
that
it. I like the way. One of my favorite scenes that I've ever done. Well, I loved both of my scenes. I did the Sandrine scene, and I did the Trick It.
Sandrine destroyed you every night.
And Deb crying. Deb crying's watching it. And she'd be backstage. She said, I made her cry, but I would cry. And I don't know why, but every night it would hit me at that one particular point.
It was because she was saying goodbye to you, your character.
Well, I would say, I'm glad you were found.
And
I'm glad you got found.
But Villian. Yeah.
Yes. 2016, Farce of Nature. Shut Up and Fish.
Shut Up and Fish.
I've dropped my pants every time.
Yeah.
Shut Up and Fish.
That's romance right
and
there.
weirdly enough,
Yeah.
the cover of Life, I thought some of the most romantic scenes were between Michael and Emily
Yep.
during the letter reading scenes.
Yeah.
That was the first
I thought-
time I had to kiss anyone.
I
on
thought
stage.
they were well.
There you go.
You're the first time you kiss anyone on stage at
On
a
stage,
theater.
That's what I'm saying. I just felt just like kissing on stage. Is that what I said?
Yeah, on stage.
On stage.
On
Good thing you
stage.
missed the pre-show. That's all I
Yeah.
can tell you.
So, 2018,
Yep.
Moon Over Buffalo.
Yes, I had a lot of romance in it.
2019, Four Weddings and an Elvis.
All about romance.
Fools.
There's a lot of romance in there too.
Sherwood.
Lots of romance there too.
And Fireflies. Oh, Fireflies.
That's when Ed really got lucky.
I kissed Helen on stage in that
Yeah,
one.
yeah.
But that was a great experience.
You can almost
all the
hear
way
it. It
around.
was like everybody in the crowd going.
Well, there was a night, there was someone sitting in the front row here,
Yeah.
a lady in the front row who was very into the show.
Yes.
And it was downstage that I took the phone from Helen and put it down and kissed her.
Yeah.
And she like threw her feet up in the air and was kicking her feet and going, woo! She was just so like, woo! She was so into that. And then when she said, I haven't taken my medicine, and I said, if at any time you feel like you need a doctor, I'll make that call. And I started walking her off stage, and the lady was just like, she was so like, woo! I love that. I love that
Yeah,
reaction
it
that you
was
get from
great.
the audience.
Yeah.
And then 2020, Drinking Habits 2.
Yes.
The only show we did in 2020.
Remember that?
Yeah. Remember that?
Remember the good old days?
Now,
Yeah.
also we did some shows where romance went wrong.
It did, and it happens.
It
does
does.
happen in
It
real
does.
life. Yeah. Yeah.
Love, Sex, and the IRS.
Yeah.
That was in 2011. The last 5 years.
Oh yes. So many ways. it goes wrong.
Beyond Therapy.
I was just thinking of it.
That was a Love Gone Wrong. 2012, Dial M for Murder.
Anytime there's murder involved.
And that's when Jim and Kate, who met
Yeah.
in It's a Wonderful Life,
Yeah.
that's when they officially started dating, was
Yeah.
during Dial M for Murder.
And then they later.
And then
got
they're married. They have
and
two lovely children.
Yep.
2013, Murder at the Prop Table,
Yeah. Which you wrote.
Love Gone Wrong.
Yep.
Kill Me Deadly, Love Gone Wrong.
You'll get to see it again.
Sweeney Todd.
Definitely love gone wrong.
She convinced him to kill people and she'd make pies out of them. That relationship was doomed from the start.
Yeah, but she was, she was hopeful.
It's true.
They wanted to live by the sea.
2014, Fuddy Mears.
Now,
Don't be scared.
okay.
I'm here to
that's-
save you.
That's love gone wrong.
It was Phil.
Yeah.
Phil was there to I'm here to save you, Claire.
Yeah,
Don't be scared.
yeah. And you got beat for it, just for it.
Well, Phil was not a nice guy.
Now I'm
Crimes of the Heart. Do you remember that one?
I'm trying to remember that one.
Becky was in it. Elena was in it. Dan Willie was in it. It was a dark and stormy night. That was all about Love Gone Wrong because he would just lock the girls up upstairs in the inn.
Oh, well, yeah.
So it just that was doomed from the start too.
We'll say that was bad. We'll say that was bad.
That was bad.
Yeah.
2015, Almost Maine. There was Love Gone Wrong in that one too.
Plenty of that.
There was
of that.
romance and Love Gone Wrong.
Yeah.
2017, The Three Musketeers. I mean, one of the girls died in the arms of her lover.
Oh,
She got poisoned.
oh well.
Yeah.
Happened.
2018, The Strange Case of Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde.
Ooh, yeah.
Love Gone Wrong.
Really gone wrong.
Yeah.
Yeah.
2019,
Mhm.
Dead Ringer.
Yeah, there's very little
He
positive
fell in love with a
romance.
girl in a box and then he gets stabbed in the back
And
in
he
the
stabs
end.
her. She stabs him in the end.
That was one of my favorite shows of all time.
Yeah. So well done by Dan and Chris and Tori.
It was amazing.
Yeah, and a beautiful set.
Yeah. I also made a list of shows that
there's
were
more.
bromance.
Bromances.
Bromance on stage.
We've had a series of bromances.
We have.
Yes.
And I don't know that you'll agree with the first one.
All right.
2012,
Yes.
The Last Supper.
No, I agree with that. That's a
That was
bromance.
all about a bromance.
That's a big time.
Those
bromance.
12 guys just going for one guy, like all about it.
Yeah.
You know, I was pulling my finger, Jesus. You, I oughta.
I'm pretty sure that wasn't part of the script.
No, it wasn't. It wasn't. So that was a 2012
That's
a bromance.
That's your basic bromance.
2014 Jellyfish.
Yeah.
Totally.
All right. Yeah.
Totally.
Yeah. I don't know if I call it bromance, but yeah.
2015 Almost Maine. The guys in the potato field.
Oh,
I've fallen for you.
I've fallen for you. That was yeah.
I've fallen.
John Fabiani
and Mike Ritz.
Yep.
Yeah. 2016 Cops.
Now that's the quintessential bromance.
Sure it is. They were just trying to impress each other.
Yep.
They wanted to, impress each other, hang out. 2017 Three Musketeers.
Yeah. Okay, I'll go with that.
And 2018 One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest.
Oh, big time.
Because they were all like totally
they're always
infatuated with the new guy. It's a total bromance in there. I think you can, and if you're out there and you're watching, you can type in if you think I was wrong or if there were others that I missed.
Yeah.
I think probably secretly there was a lot of bromance going on in Sherwood. Because our Robin Hood looked damn good in his costume. I'm sure there was some bromance going on.
Well, I mean,
backstage somewhere.
Yeah, Marion didn't put up with him though. She wanted to be better than him.
Yeah.
So, but there was something going on. That was almost a bromance too.
Well, that's what I'm saying. There had to be some bromance. So if I've missed any and our viewers know about them, you can let Michael know. Michael, did anybody say anything about the melodrama?
They did.
Oh, look at that. We got a paper, Tim.
Oh, wow. How exciting.
Very fun, but missing a fart. You know what, Amber?
Donna.
No, Amber.
Amber
I have
that?
to say,
Yeah, okay.
you're not the only one to say that. That's a comment that I've gotten
From Donna.
So the next one's going to have a plethora of them.
What's the plural?
Fun and enjoyable, Donna Storm says.
Oh, well, that's good.
I liked it. Some of my favorite people were in it. Deb crying. Lots of fun. Tony. Yeah. Melodrama was awesome.
Well,
Jeannie.
We will have to do some more.
We'll do some more.
We do want to add in that they feel that every Christmas story ever told, another bromance.
That's a big time bromance.
I wasn't sure.
But
I thought about that, but I thought it'd be really weird if I said, I'm in a show with a bromance. Because I don't want the guys.
More like a real life bromance. Ian and Rob. Yeah.
Amber wants to be sure that everyone's aware too that in Sweeney Todd, he also still loved Lucy. And she's really arguing the romance aspect. Yeah,
but Lucy's now a skanky hoe. She's just dirty. She's dirty and begging.
I don't think she was okay.
She was dirty and smelly.
She was dirty, but that was because
there aren't enough trash bags in the world.
Oh, don't go there.
And Donna points out that a man of no importance had wannabe romance.
It did.
See, again, that's
a little more than a bromance.
He's alone on Valentine's Day too.
Oh,
Alfie and me.
Alfie.
All alone on Valentine's Day.
That's too bad.
It's okay. I'll buy some chocolates for the cats.
There you go. What? No, you don't. Okay. I posed the question to everybody on Facebook what they think the most romantic play / musical is out there. And the thing that struck me the most is everybody had a different idea.
Sure they do.
Beth Steinberg talked about Brigadoon, the romance in Brigadoon. She said, I love Mr. Lundy's line, it's the hardest thing in the world to give everything, though it's usually the only way to get everything. That's when Tommy was about to give up his life to stay in Brigadoon. But she said so many wonderful love stories in there. Lucia Dressel says, Lacage Falls, a beautiful love story. West Side Story, obviously. And most romantic play, she said, obviously, it's a bit cliche, but Romeo and Juliet.
Yeah.
Robin said Aida.
Yeah.
And of course, we mentioned Girlfriend, which sounded like it was.
But you know what? I think that a lot of those, it depends on how they're performed.
Well, yeah. That's understandable.
If you got to have the right people in the right roles playing that, because you cannot. Romance is like a dance on stage.
Yeah, no, I totally agree. No, when Lori and I saw Camelot at the Goodspeed Opera House, the night that we saw it, they had a stand-in. They had the what do they call them? The second understudy. Thank you, Al. The understudy for Guinevere was on. And then they had a talkback after the show, and I asked the question, how was it different for you guys on stage? Apparently, they did not like the original woman playing Guinevere, and because during the most romantic parts of the show and during the ending, which is really, really very emotional, King Arthur was crying on stage. I'm like, wow, to the understudy. And it just that those two people clicked on stage, unlike any other combination before.
Right.
And it made all the difference in the world. And I'm sorry, if you see that kind of emotion that's so real on stage, it affects an audience as well. And,
Sure.
I think you ask anybody that saw, we were just talking Man of No Importance. That was a very emotional show.
Ugh, that was a basket
It
case.
was a basket case every night. But they all felt it too. The audience really picks up on that stuff. And that's, I think, when you talk about most romantic shows, I think those are the ones that personally affect you like that.
Right. Romantic in a different
way. Yeah. But it's still, romance is romance, as they say. So thank you all for responding to all these questions.
Michael has something to share.
So you've greatly offended our female viewers who have pointed out that you've brought up romances and bromances, but not any shows about gal pals.
Female transport. Cover of Life.
That's the sisters.
The Cemetery Club, the Steel Magnolias. Yeah, that's all gal pal kind of stuff.
Oh, well, there you go.
Sorry we offended you. But I didn't want anybody to think that I was inventing stuff either about gal pals.
Well, I think the point that you were trying to make is there was a lot more bromance in our shows over the years than we knew about, than we were conscious of.
Sure.
Same with gal pals, but it's just, there's a lot out there. So we tend to. What, Michael? Are we in trouble again?
No.
Okay.
No.
All right.
Laura laughed at female transport, referred to as gal pals.
Well,
And it's a shame that we haven't been able to do Cayuga yet, because that's a gal pal show.
Well,
It's not a romance,
but it isn't. But
there is a little.
But there is a romance in there.
Yes, there is.
There is a romance in there.
Stay tuned.
Spoiler alert. Yeah. So
Spoiler.
yeah, there is a little bit of. Hey, Tim.
Hey, what?
What kind of flower gives the best smooches?
I don't know. What kind of flower gives the best smooches?
Tulips.
Yeah.
So there's hearts behind it. So I'm going to tell this joke. So this guy walks into a cardiologist's office.
Okay.
And he says, Doctor, you got to help me. You have to help me. I think I'm turning into a moth.
A moth.
A moth. And the cardiologist says, I'm a cardiologist. You don't need to see me. You need to see a psychiatrist. Why did you come to me? And the guy says, your light was on. I made Michael laugh.
Oh, God.
Yeah.
So,
hey, Tim.
Yes.
Why did the little girl color her heart pink and not red?
I don't know. Why did the girl, whatever?
Because she was lighthearted.
That gets I like the light is on.
Yeah.
So
thank you, Amber.
She sent that one to you. Oh, was that in the book?
Some of these are in the book. Yeah, I love my book.
I want to just, I know it's I want to tell my Valentine story.
Yes, please do tell your Valentine story.
Yes, because Valentine is a double-edged sword for me, because of our first Valentine's together. It's hard to top it. This is 1986.
1986 for all you young people
like,
out there.
Like how you dressed back then. Anyway, I had been dating Lori for some time. We met the previous May, and I decided I was going to propose to her on Valentine's Day. Unfortunately, an ice storm happened that night, and I had planned us to go to this really nice Japanese restaurant in Southbury, and we lived in Naugatuck, and the roads were just a mess. We just couldn't go anywhere. So we decided to go to Widow Brown's. Remember Widow Brown's in downtown Naugatuck? It's on Church Street. It's right across the street from the old 5 and 10, McCrory's.
Widow Brown's.
Yeah, that's what I say.
I thought you were saying Little Browns, but with a
widow.
I thought he was saying Widow.
So we went to Widow
Brown's.
Nobody in the race, nobody in the place. But as it turned out, our waitress was somebody who worked for Lori at the bank, and this was the second job for her. So we had a nice dinner, but I carried a gym bag full of things like presents and stuff like that. When the dinner was over, I asked for a cup of tea, and she's like, you never get anything. You just, after dinner, you just want to go. I asked for a cup of tea, and when they went to fetch it, I just asked her if she was happy, and she said yes. And then I got on my knee and I proposed to her.
Oh,
yeah. And we got free dessert.
Oh,
that night, we walked to the restaurant and we walked back, and there were snowbanks everywhere, right? So it's Valentine's Day. The movie Copacabana came out. Barry Manilow had made a movie version of his song, and he had this incredibly romantic song in there where he sings to the girl in the middle of the street in the middle of the night, and everybody turns their lights on. I sang that song to her. I pulled out the tape recorder, had that song on it, and sang to her. Yeah, it's Who Needs to Dream? Who Needs to Dream? Something, I forget the words. Anyway, yeah. So that's how
and she married you.
She never did say yes. She never. This is a trivia question. She never said yes. She said, "You bet your life." I think eventually is what she said. But yeah, and I had in the bag. I had the tape recorder. I had a bottle of wine that I had purchased years ago in California that was so good. I had another bottle of it in California, and I said, I'm going to get another bottle and I'm going to save it for when I get engaged someday. So I had that bottle from California that I brought all the way back when I drove cross country, and we had that together. And the problem is, as romantic as that Valentine's Day is, I could never top it. That was our first one, and I can never top it. Although the first Valentine's Day in our house in 1992, I want to say, I turned our living room into a little restaurant. So we had dinner in front of the fireplace. And I got dressed up in a tuxedo, and she'd come back from work, and I had the whole menu and everything set up. Terrible service. We never did tip the waiter or anything like that.
See, I don't think I'm a terribly romantic person in real life.
Really?
I think on stage and producing things on stage, but I think in real life, I'm not really a terribly romantic. Maybe I'm just way out of practice. I don't know, but I don't know that I'm.
You are. I think if the circumstances were right, you would be, because you cry at TV, right? You cry at things that are romantic, not necessarily romantic, but things you get emotional about.
That just means I'm a sap.
Well, that's part of romance right there, isn't it? Isn't it?
I don't know. Let's ask our viewers that question. So if I cry when I watch a movie, or I cry
at weddings?
No, I really don't cry at weddings.
I don't. Well, I always do.
No. Does that make me romantic?
I think it really depends on the person. I think it depends, right, Michael?
I can tell you for one, I will cry during things on TV or video, but Eric and I are two of the least romantic people.
Oh, see, now that surprises me. I would think they would be
You know, it's
romantic
great. I mean,
couple.
Eric, he still lets me sleep in the bedroom, so I guess that's good. You know, as a
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know that my emotionality, my sappiness makes me romantic. I don't know. I who knows? I don't know. I guess when I'm 80 and I finally meet somebody, I'll know.
Mr. Half Right.
You know,
Mr. Right turns into Mr. Right Now.
Yeah. I mean, you know, I guess
we knew this was going to be a problem. With
I
this,
guess I would be romantic as long as whoever it is that I end up being romantic about understands that I like fart jokes and I like fart sound effects. It doesn't mean that
nothing says romance. I like fart.
You know what I mean. So
well, here's
general
what it is.
Consensus is that you are more romantic. Donna said you wear your heart on your sleeve.
True.
Amber thinks you're more romantic. Chrissy.
Yep.
Quite a few people.
Yeah.
Well, that's very nice.
But
Thank
here's
you.
what it is. It's got to be the right person to bring it out. If somebody comes along in your life and you just want to be with that person, then romance is going to happen.
But I guarantee you this.
Yes.
I will never walk down the middle of the street singing a Barry Manilow song.
Your loss. And it was in the parking lot, so it was okay.
I mean, we did this. A bunch of people that are watching were part of a show that we did years ago called 8-Track Sounds of the 70s.
Oh my gosh.
And I did sing the Barry Manilow song. I write the songs.
Yes,
yeah.
So I
wrote that.
Wig and everything, right?
Oh yeah. Yeah. So that was.
I think Ron Nassif and I were the only ones that saw that show.
A lot of people saw the show.
They did.
It was
Lori was away, so
I'm sure that Chrissy remembers it. She was in there with us. They sang Lady Marmalade like nobody's business. These 4 girls. Oh my gosh.
But our friend
was
incredibly Fred.
Fred. No, Brick House.
I'm a brick.
He with a Boston accent. It was it was but it was what a fun show. What a fun show. So 8-Track Sound of the 70s.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. And romance is not the kind of thing that you can force, but it happens. If you're lucky, it happens. And there's, we'll leave it there. So we have to talk about what's going on next week,
things are changing because Michael needs some time because he and Eric have some big changes going on in their life right now. So I think everybody knows about it, right, Michael?
Can we say it?
Just about, yeah. I mean, sort of.
So they bought a home. They bought their first home.
Their love nest.
And so their romance nest.
Yes.
So they're really, really busy. He's going to be really busy over the next couple of weeks getting things situated so that they can move into their new home. It happened so fast.
Yeah,
we're so happy for both of them and for Ruthie. We're really, really excited for them. So congratulations to Michael and Eric on that. So Michael's not going to be available. So whatever we end up doing next week is probably going to be recorded and then put back up. So just stay tuned. We'll let you know what's going on.
Yeah.
We were going to try and film another melodrama. But my next melodrama was going to require Michael and Eric, and I don't know what their availability is going to be like over the next couple of weeks. Yeah. So there might be some adjustment in there for something, but we'll figure something out.
And something you want to mention that you just applied for that we're going to do in.
Oh, there's a whole bunch of stuff going on right now. So Ion Bank right now is doing their community giving.
Yep.
So if you're a customer at Ion Bank, you can vote for Phoenix Stage Company. We're going to put that information out soon because they do their community giving.
Yep.
But also we registered today for the 2021 Give Local, which will be on April 20th and 21st. We will be live both nights for that.
We're working on some ideas for that.
Yeah, so we're gonna have a lot of fun going on for those 2 nights. So that's April 20th and 21st. But for now, we're not quite sure what we're gonna do next week. But just stay tuned, and of course, it could just be me here telling jokes.
And just a cardboard cutout of me.
Nah, you'd be here too.
Oh.
Yeah. Yeah. So,
2 guys just sitting here drinking champagne.
No. This was the weirdest
It was
5-year-old grape juice ever.
We found it in the fridge downstairs.
in the green room.
God only knows what show. It was from.
And
Probably female trans.
today I was in the office working on Kill Me Deadly, which is the show that we're hoping to open here at Phoenix Stage Company on August 13th of this year. We're hoping, fingers crossed. They're opening arenas in New York now, and we're starting to get their people starting to get their vaccinations. So we're looking forward to that. We're planning some changes out in our lobby, and we've got a whole bunch of stuff going on. So we're working towards stuff. And I was working a lot on what we're going to do for Kill Me Deadly and how we're going to get.
We've had a lot of time to think about all this stuff, and
I was shocked that the year just went away.
Yeah. It's hard to believe that over a year now. Well, a year ago right now, we were doing Drinking Habits.
Drinking Habits was on stage a year ago.
And we're rehearsing other stuff. I can't remember what was supposed to come next. Was it Cayuga?
We were getting ready to go into Tech Sunday for Cayuga.
That's right. That was
when we had to shut down.
Cast Enchanted April.
Enchanted April was in performance. Was in rehearsals.
And then just somebody slammed on the brakes and and now it's been a year. It's been almost a complete year.
It's a little nutsy,
but we're still here.
Yes, we are. And thank you all for being here and for being a part of hearing us talk and me telling my jokes that I love so much.
And saying him as a 4-year-old.
And Tim,
hearing the story of my life.
Talking about his romance, bromance, and
we're gone. I
don't know what just happened. I think he was getting ready to change things. That's Michael saying, "Hurry up."
He went off early.
So
I hope you love
that happens. Like that. Michael said he went off early, and sorry about that. I guess that happens.
That happens on Valentine's Day.
Yeah, it does. It happens on Valentine's Day.
So
thank you all very much. We need to thank our sponsors.
Yes, starting with Black Hawk Brewing Company, Oxford, Connecticut. Their outside drinking establishment is no longer up. They are still open for orders. You can pick up there. I just picked some up on Saturday for the Super Bowl. Very nice people. They said they hope to open their tap room in March.
So that's awesome. Let's hope for that. Also, we want to thank Sierra Ridge Media Arts, Deb and Jeff Cryan, Naugatuck. Thank you for everything that you do for us. And we really appreciate it. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel. Hit that like button for us. And you can make a donation at any time to support your local community theater. That's Phoenix Stage Company at phoenix-stage-company.square.site. A big thank you to all of our donors so far throughout the year. You've really helped us. You have no idea. You've kept us alive. We have all the expenses that we normally have without the income. So your donations have kept us alive and kept us here. So thank you all very much. Our insurance just renewed, so Michael knows that. So thank you again for being here, for being a part of our podcast and a part of our lives. Happy romance to all of you.
Yes.
Until next time, say good night, Tim.
Good night, Tim.
Are we done?